Good morning, everyone. This is Matthew Oates with Salient Process on February 16th, the morning of our latest and greatest release for the Spark Quick Process Builder. We have a lot of trial users that are enjoying this product, and this release gives a feature that I think everyone has asked for, the ability to connect to other systems and run services within an activity. So I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. It's probably going to be less than 5 minutes, but let's go ahead and get started with how you can get started on your own. First of all, you're going to log into our cloud environment. You should have access to that. When you log into the cloud environment, you're probably only going to see the process runtime section here. So let's run the process portal. We're going to open up the process portal. With new versions, sometimes it goes ahead and hides create quick process, so let's go ahead and make that exposed, and let's create a quick process. In the release announcement, I will have provided a template that you can start with just to check things out. You can certainly create your own. Remember, your previous templates, just because how we're releasing this, they're not going to work, so you need to either use this template as a starting point or create your own. But let's take a look real fast at this template, see what it's working with, and how you can get it configured and run it to see things on your own. I'm going to skip through the basic information. It does have some fields, so if you want to see what the preview looks like with the fields, you can do that. We're not going to get into that in this video. What we're going to take a look at is the process here. Before we even move forward, I want to make sure, so this works on your own release. If you want to try to generate this and check it out on your own, be sure to add yourself to the teams. If you don't add yourself to the teams and you release this, you'll never see it. And so you won't really be able to test what gets generated on your own if you haven't added yourself to the team there. So go ahead and do this. What this does is also gives you kind of your own version of this process to check out. So be sure to add yourself to the teams. And then let's take a look at the steps. So you've seen previously we could add system steps here, and then you can do that and you can link steps. Maybe you weren't aware of it, but the idea of adding a system step is the same as adding a step in the to-do itself. So we're just going to look at adding steps and to-dos. In this process, the process is essentially someone submits a package. It can either get rejected outright or get sent to a review. Upon the review, it could return back to the submitter, or we could welcome a customer. The submit package and the welcome customer have two new really cool features in it. So if we take a look at submit package and we go to to-dos, there is now a to-do here. Sometimes people in the past have said to-dos aren't really that relevant to them. I bet you now you're going to think it's relevant to you, because look what you can do with to-dos. We have a to-do here that is populating the credit score. If I look at the details of this to-do, it's got some instructions, that's great, but we have a new feature here. It says service link up at the top. So if I look at the service link, what this is actually doing is saying, okay, I want to have a connector next to this service. I want to actually have Quick Process Builder, the process app that gets generated, do something for me as opposed to just being a reminder to go do something. In this case, populate credit score is going to call the get credit score service. It's mapped as an input to the account number. The output is going to be the credit score, and so we're going to see how that ends up looking at the end of the process. There's another really exciting service that we can map to. I'm going to go to the welcome customer step. I am going to look at the to-do here, send welcome email. Ooh, okay. What does send welcome email do? It actually links to a send email service. This service works outright. It is going to take a from and map that to the from for the email. It's going to have a to, and it's going to send an actual email to this person. It's going to have a subject, and it's going to be able to have a message. This is a real live send email service. So when you start running through your test examples, keep in mind it is going to send those emails if you complete this activity. So that's at design time how you're going to be using this new feature. Let's go ahead and generate that. Remember, I added myself to the teams. You got to do that. And then, as always, you want to go straight into production. If you're a trial user, that's where you're set up in production. So be sure you set to production, and we're going to publish. This is going to generate my app. It looks like this video, by the way, is going to go maybe to 6 minutes. So sorry about that, having over a 5-minute video for a little intro video. But we're going to generate the app. This will generate for yourself. Remember, you set yourself up in the team, so it's only going to be exposed to you, this version of the app. And it's doing the things that it normally does here: importing, generating, deploying, generating the UI theme. That's always a favorite. It just takes a little bit sometimes, but it's gotten faster and faster over the last few releases. And then, wait a little bit. All right, it is installed. The safest way to make sure it's going to show up over here is just to go ahead and log out and log back in. We have had some requests to say, could we make that a little bit easier, just have it immediately appear. We're kind of tied to what IBM BPM does there, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for us to focus on that, but we have added it to the backlog. And here we go. We're going to launch our process portal. You should see our new process show up on the left. So let's take a look at it, see what it looks like. Submit package. Okay, great. That was the first step. I'm going to claim this, and you're going to see a little bit newer layout, right? So we had some feedback that we wanted to have a little bit more modern set here. So we have now to-dos a little bit cleaner on the right with the reference panel. You know, if I make this window smaller, oh, there's my little Rockefeller there, my buddy Rockefeller. The to-dos and references, they will stack if it gets wide enough, but in this case, it's going to be here, and so we have some information. So I'm going to fill out my form, Matthew Oates, and I'm going to say moates@salientprocess.com. I've said this already, but remember, this is real emails. We're working with real stuff here. And I'm going to type in some numbers here. Now, you might not be aware, but the Get Credit Score service, what it does is actually just takes the first 3 digits of your account and stuffs that into the credit score. So it's kind of a made-up service here. But what's neat is you see this on the right. So your to-do now is a little bit cleaner. You have a little thing that you can check here. But notice this little play button. If you ever see a play, that means it's a service back to-do. And so there's 2 different types of service back to-do. There's kind of a streamlined, just fill out my form for me type to do, and then there's going to be a more user interactive way to do it. In this case, this is just filling out my form. I've populated all of my inputs. All it needs is a credit score output, so I'm going to press this button here. It's going to run that service, and there you go. It's completed the service. It's filled in my portion of my form. This could be any kind of service that you end up wanting, right? So if you have 7 different fields and it needs to go and retrieve information to get 15 different more fields, you could just make it as easy as pressing a button to have that happen. You also see up here on the right, there was feedback that you didn't want to have to click multiple times here. So if I could like click keep task for later, I could do that if I want to, but I'm going to go ahead and click here and do complete task. It's going to move on to the next step. I'm going to quickly go through this because this video is getting much longer than 5 minutes. We're approaching the 8-minute mark. And that's with me talking fast. I'm going to type in some information here. This is just a regular, so see, notice there's no play here. This is just a regular to-do that I need to complete. I'm going to go ahead and accept package so we can go to the last step and check out the emails, and then we'll wrap up this video. All right, so here I am at the welcome customer step. And so we have another play, right? That means there's a service back to do. When I press this, you'll notice a pop-up will come up. It pops up here because some of the fields are filled in, but not all of them. If you don't map and have information populated for a service back to do, it will prompt you to provide the rest of the information. So in this case, I have to provide a message or it won't work. So I'm going to say, this customer, I'm going to say, thank you for being a friend. So I can do this. I'm going to say run. This is actually going to, remember, it's going to send a real email. It indicates that I've completed this task. I can go here, that to do. I can go here and complete the task, and the process works. I just got an email that said, thank you for being a friend from product@salientprocess.com. So there you go. That's the new feature with service back to do's. As always, you can let me know if you want your own service for your demo purposes. I can kind of make up a service for you with the inputs and outputs you specify so that you can build it into your use case. So we're real excited about this release. Thanks for your patience as we got it out, and happy quick process building.